What's going on, everybody? Today's video is going to be a little bit different because we're back in the driveway, not at a campground, but I've got some exciting news to share. It's not about the camper, it's about what we use to pull the camper. I'm happy to announce I got a new truck. I know, the old truck was awesome, but I needed an upgrade, and I'll explain why in a minute. So without further ado, let's go check out the new ride. No, wait, not yet. Gotta roll the intro first.
Just ride all the way to the rainbow's end. Just ride.
So if you're new to the channel, this is Highway Therapy. We bought this camper, our 2016 Coachman Catalina 261 BHS, back in February. And we spent the entire summer hitting the road as much as we possibly can, traveling all over the place. It's been a really fun summer. We're looking forward to doing it again next year. We might end up upgrading the camper, but before we did that, I needed to upgrade my truck. And the reason why is, if you've watched any of the previous videos, I had a 2017 Ram 2500 with the Cummins. It was a 6-speed manual, which is it's really hard to find now. They don't make them anymore. Fun truck to drive. Not really that much fun when you got bad knees and you're trying to back a camper into a campground and everybody's watching. So it got a little tough. I'd done some modifications to that truck. I had a dual disc clutch in it, so it was even grabbier. But I'd also added some horsepower to it, so I kind of needed that. But it made it really hard to drive it around for, what we use it for. Plus, Trish couldn't drive it. Well, okay, let me correct that. She's going to yell at me if I don't. She can drive it, but it wasn't easy because she's so short. She couldn't get the pedal all the way to the floor. So the biggest reason why I needed an upgrade is because I needed to get an automatic. So we did a little bit of looking. I looked at Ford. I looked at GM products. And what I ended up settling on was this. So this is a 2018 Ram 2500 Limited. Still got the 6.7 Cummins in it. It is an automatic. It's got the 68 RFE transmission. Not the most popular transmission out there for these trucks, but that's all you can get with an automatic in the 3/4 ton. Now, being a Limited, it's got a lot more chrome on it than the old truck did. I'm not really a fan of the grille. It's kind of got this pig nose, bull nose, whatever you want to call it, grill on there. Those are really popular in the aftermarket, but and it came factory on this truck. But I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's part of the Limited package, so I'm gonna live with it. This one's also you got the chrome on the mirrors. You got this big chrome trim strip down the side of it. Chrome door handles, and then back in the back, the giant chrome Ram emblem. Not really a fan of that either, but again, that's part of the Limited package, so I'm gonna live with it. When I first got the truck, it had these huge chrome side steps that went all the way from wheel to wheel. Wasn't a fan of those at all, so pulled those off pretty quick. I have since replaced those with amp steps. These power running boards. I love these things. I mean, they clean up the side of the truck so much. They're bigger and they sit down a little bit lower when they're deployed, so it's a lot easier to get in and out of the truck. I also kept the wheels and tires off my other truck. That's one thing about going with this truck, is that they just bolted right up. I did have to put the leveling kit back on it that I had on the other truck. It's a new one, but it's the exact same kit. And so these bolted right back up and really made a difference in this truck. Kind of makes up for all the chrome on there. The previous owner had installed this this tonneau cover. I had it was a soft trifold cover on the other truck, which worked great. But I mean, this one's hard. It's made out of aluminum. This is the Undercover Ultraflex. And the neat thing about this, you can pop it open from either side. Just by using these little handles right here. With the old one, I had to go on both sides of the truck to do that. With the old one, I had to use these little clamps on both sides to lock it down. With this one, I can shut the tailgate, just drop the cover and it's closed. Get the limited trim in the back, another big chrome strip going across there. Again, I'm not a huge fan of all the chrome, but that's part of the package, so I'll live with it. I guess there's not a whole lot of these things out here, so I guess it's going to add more value to it. I don't know. So I leveled it in the front, and then in the rear, it actually has automatic load leveling airbags. If you can see those in there. See the airbags right there? Those replace the coil springs. In order to make it sit perfectly level, I had to put a little extension on there from a company called Thurin that just moves the sensor and raises the rear end up about an inch. So when it's unloaded, this truck sits the exact same height that my other truck did, and the benefit to that is that I didn't have to mess with the hitch. It was lined up perfectly to go with the camper, and I just bolted it right back up and it's perfect. So it also came with these mud flaps. These are factory mud flaps, came with those from the factory. Those are nice because I'm not slinging rocks all over the side of the truck. That was a problem I had with the old truck, you know, being in a lot of campgrounds had the really fine gravel, and my tires would sling rocks all over the side. Oh, speaking of tires, I have upgraded the tires too. These are Nitto Ridge Grapplers. I had Toyo mud tires on it before, and they were great, but, well, you know, when you're on the highway 90% of the time, mud tires aren't that great. They wear out a little bit quicker. They got a lot of noise to them. I've actually got those sitting over here. I got almost 50,000 miles out of these tires, and they did okay. You know, still got a little bit of tread left on them, but it was time for an upgrade. And those Ridge Grapplers are they're super quiet. They're 12 ply, which means they've got a little bit thicker sidewall, so they hold up a little bit better when there's a load behind them, a little bit more stable. Now you might remember I had a lot bigger exhaust tip on the other truck. That goes along with those performance upgrades I did. I won't say what they are. If you're familiar with diesel trucks, and you know what I'm talking about. I guess the good thing is this one's a little bit quieter, but it's not quite as cool. Well, let me do a little comparison. I think I've got a video of the old truck starting up. So, oh yeah, the other good thing about this truck is I've got remote start now. I'm so happy to have that. You can't get that on a manual truck because, you know, you got to use the clutch and all that. So I'm glad to have that feature. But let's use this. I'll show you a little sound comparison between the two. Boring, right? I know. Something else I like about this truck that the other truck didn't have, this one has the puck system in the bed. Oh yeah, and this right here, the DZ tailgate assist, I highly recommend getting one of those. They're cheap, they're like 30 bucks. Really makes it a lot nicer when you go to drop your tailgate. Part of a Christmas tree. So if you can see these little pucks right here, this is the factory option that my other truck didn't have. You can pop those out and stick a gooseneck ball in there, or you can get a kit that will actually drop in the four corners so that you can put a fifth wheel hitch in there. And I really like having that because, you know, I don't know how much longer we're going to have the travel trailer. I'm thinking the next one is probably going to be a fifth wheel, so that gives us some options without having to cut holes in the bed. And another feature that I like about this truck is it actually has two backup cameras. The second one is right up there. So I don't know how well that one's going to work with the tonneau cover on here, but theoretically, should be able to turn on that camera and line up the hitch whenever we get to that point. All right, let's go check out the inside. Of course, being a limited, you got the leather interior, you got the wood grain on the steering wheel, the wood grain accents everywhere. This one is fully loaded, which isn't really something that I was looking for. You know, I mean, I can live with the basics, but honestly, I looked at a 2019 Tradesman, which is the base model package, like the one that I had, and I got this truck for about the same price. This one is, I did buy it slightly used. It had about 27,000 miles on it, and for what I paid for it, you just can't beat it. Didn't really need the extra bells and whistles, but I'll take them. This one's got push button start. So you just hit the brake, hit the button, and it fires right up. Got the big 8.4 inch Uconnect screen. Now the new ones have the screen that goes all the way down. That wasn't available in 2018, but that's okay. I mean, this one still does everything the new ones do, and I'm perfectly happy with it. You got your satellite radio, you got access to your climate controls in here, dual zone climate control, which is, I mean, that is one thing that we've needed for a long time because I'm warm-blooded and Trish freezes to death constantly. So we've got dual zone climate control in there. Heated and cooled seats on both sides. Really could have used that this past summer. I love I don't use the heated seats a lot, but I do use the vintage seats. It's amazing. Heated steering wheel. And here's where I was talking about the backup camera. So you got the regular backup camera that just shows the hitch, makes it really easy to hitch up to this camper. And then you've got the bed camera. And like I was saying, I don't know if this tonneau cover is going to work with this camera. If we end up getting a fifth wheel, which we're probably going to do, but you know, if we end up getting a fifth wheel, I'm probably going to end up swapping this tonneau cover out for maybe a roll-up cover. So that I can see that, because the center of that hitch is going to sit right about there. So I want to be able to look at that when I'm backing up. This one has navigation on it as well. One drawback about the navigation system on this truck, you can't use it while you're driving. Even if you got a passenger in here, Trish can't put in the next destination because it locks it out once you start rolling. I guess it's a safety feature, but it's kind of dumb. It does work pretty well when you've got your destination put in there. It'll show you the next gas station, or you know, diesel station in my case. It'll show you, you know, a place to eat. So the built-in navigation's okay, but if you can't use it while you're driving, it's kind of pointless. You know, Trish can't put in a destination while we're traveling down the road. I've got to stop before she can do that. I guess that's a safety feature. It's kind of stupid. But one thing that I do like about this truck being a 2018, starting in 2018, they added Apple CarPlay to these radios. So let me go get my phone and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so with the CarPlay, you've got USB ports inside the console. You just take a lightning cable, and this works for Android Auto too. I happen to have an iPhone. Take your lightning cable, plug it into your phone, and you see you get the CarPlay logo. As soon as you plug it up to the truck, it knows what's going on. And now we've got this new little icon down here in the corner. It says CarPlay. So you can just hit that, and there's my phone. The main reason I wanted this was for the navigation apps. We got Waze, which I haven't really used a lot, but it's supposed to be pretty good for you know, knowing when you're going to hit traffic and all that. Oops. But for me, Google Maps. I love this. I love being able to see a terrain map. You know, you know if you're getting ready to, even at nighttime, you know where you're at. You can see if there's, you know, a lake next to you. You know, you can clearly see where you're going using this terrain map. You can't get that on the factory GPS. But it's really easy to input a destination. So let's say I want to go to, I don't know, Dunkin' Donuts. Just find Dunkin' Donuts. Well, there's the nearest one. Get some directions. Start.
Head north on Holland View Drive.
Don't even have to look at my phone, it just pops it right up on the screen. This will also show you traffic, and it navigates around traffic in real time. So if you if you come up on an accident and it's quicker to get off the exit and take a back road, it'll tell you that, which the factory navigation won't do. So having Apple CarPlay on this, being able to use Google Maps is huge. And this does have the automatic transmission, so I got the shifter up here. I still find myself from time to time trying to reach over here and grab that shifter, you know, trying to hit that clutch, and it's not there, but I'm getting used to it. You do get this huge console though, which is pretty nice. A couple different levels here. It's kind of messy right now, but you know, you got a big storage compartment in the bottom. It's really handy. Even gives you a nice little slot to stick your phone in there. I really like the layout of these trucks with the full console. This is really handy too. So you got a 110 or 115 outlet. It's only 150 watts, but that's really all you need. You got this right here in the dash. So you know, if we need to plug up the laptop, charge batteries, whatever we want to do while we're driving down the road, we can do that from here. I was about to buy a power inverter for the old one, so it's a good thing that this one has it built in. So this one also has the trailer brake controller built in, which I think all these heavy duty trucks do. Still got the auxiliary buttons on the bottom like my old truck had. Still have no plans to use those at all. A lot of these trucks will come with your heated seat, heated steering wheel buttons right there. I wish I had that because, I mean, I've got to go through a couple different steps to turn that on here. I mean, no big deal, I guess, but I wish we had a hard button for that down here. This little button is pretty neat. This is the alternate trailer height button. I noticed once I put the sensor extensions on the back that, you know, the truck sat the same height as it did before, but once you put a camper on it, it doesn't sag like it used to. I could tell it was just a little bit squirrely, maybe putting a little bit too much weight on the rear of the camper. So I actually found out that hitting that button dropped the rear end down about an inch and put it about the same level that it was at with the old truck once the springs were loaded up. So I could probably adjust the hitch and not have to worry about that, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to have this camper, so it's nice having that feature right now. But this right here is huge. You know, I talked about Trish not being able to drive the old truck because she couldn't reach the pedals. Well, this solves that problem. No worries there. She can bring them up wherever she needs them, so yeah, no more excuses, honey. Sorry. In the back seat, the kids have it just as nice as we do in the front. Got these fancy little pouches for keeping their crap in. I don't know. I think they think they're trash bags, to be honest. They got a power outlet back here. We didn't have that in the old truck. They've got vents back here. Didn't really have that in the old truck. They even have their own heated seats, which is really nice because they like to complain about being cold. Got an armrest in the middle. Drop that down, keep them separated. Except usually that's where the dog likes to lay, so that's his spot. This truck's got the fold-out floor, so if we need to haul something big and dirty around, we can do that and not mess anything up. Already? Jeez, kids, what is it, a lifesaver? Oh. And I know I said I wasn't really that worried about the fancy features, you know, I'm not really worried about leather, but now that I've got it, I'm kind of glad that I have leather because my kids are messy. The dog's a lot cleaner than the kids are, believe it or not. So I'm glad that this truck has leather because if they spill something, I don't have to worry about it as much. It's just wipe it up and you're good to go. Well, that's it. That's the new truck. I was actually working on editing the next video and realized that I had a ton of footage of this truck in there and you guys hadn't really seen the new truck yet, so I figured it needed a good introduction. Let me know what you think, if we made the right move or not. I'm hoping to keep this one for a while, unless we get a really big camper and I've got to get a dually, I don't know. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. Looking forward to getting a few good years out of this truck, maybe getting something different to pull behind it. I don't know, the old Coachman's been good to us, but it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Again, if you're new to the channel and you're just here for the truck, thanks for joining us. We've got a ton of videos about the trips that we've taken. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, if you're interested in RV travel, go back and check out some of those other videos. You can check out the old truck and don't forget to hit subscribe and see where the new truck takes us too. If you guys have any questions about this truck, ask me down in the comments. I'll try to answer them the best I can. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned because the next video is coming out in a couple days. We'll take this thing to Pigeon Forge. It looks a little bit different because I shot that a while back before I did the steps and the new tires and all that. So it might look a little bit different, but I didn't want to confuse you. So figured you needed an introduction. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.